What's up everyone, I'm Don Ferguson and welcome back to another kick-ass episode of Something New here in the Teeqlife Basement Bar. Now, anybody that actually knows me, or if they've watched the platform before, they know I love some agave products. Tequila, mezcal, sotol, racia, pulque. Wait a minute, I've never had sotol, racia. I'm gonna have to change that. We gotta get some of that on this platform. Yes, it's not hidden. I love some tequila, I love some mezcal, and I have it featured on the Teeqlife platform many times. So what are we trying today? Little hint, some mezcal. Now this is a brand that I actually tried initially about 3 or 4 years ago, and I really dug it. Pelotón de la Muerte. You can see I got 2 glasses, that means a double tasting. So we're going to taste the one that I tried several years ago, but I didn't know that they have other ones in their portfolio. We're going to talk about that. Grab your glasses, roll the intro, and let's learn a little bit more about Pelotón de la Muerte Mezcal. Roll it. Let me move these over here because before we taste, we talk. Pelotón de la Muerte is an artisanal mezcal that I tried like 3-4 years ago. I was in Chicago. Somebody, at a bar was like, hey, you like mezcal? Try this. I really enjoyed it, but I couldn't get it here when I came back to Michigan. Fortunately, things have changed. They've expanded their distribution and now they're available in many markets across the United States. Pelotón de la Muerte means Brigade of Death. Ooh. And that was a flag used by insurgents during the Mexican Revolution for the death of priest Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. Let's talk about the flag because it's kind of important here. It's very symbolic. So with the flag, the red symbolizes the blood of the leader. The black cross symbolizes mourning for the priest. And the bones, well, that's to honor his remains. Alright, you're probably saying, Don, what the hell are you talking about? I don't see a flag. Well, what's really cool is if you flip the bottle on the back side, flip it up, back it up, whatever. On the back of the label is the actual flag that I was just talking about. So it's some of these little nuances, these little, things that they put on the bottle that just really speak volumes, and you can learn a lot more about this brand and the history behind the brand on their website. Let's get into some of the particulars about the brand. The gnome is 0117X. There are multiple expressions, like I said, 3 to be exact. Today we're only trying 2. We're trying the Espadin Joven and the Criollo Joven. The Espadin Joven. This is the one that I tried in Chicago many years ago. The agave, the Espadin Agave is the one that is most typical when it comes to mezcal making. And that's because it's easier to grow, it takes a shorter time period. While Espadin usually is from 8 to 10 years to mature, most mezcal makers actually harvest it at around 5 to 6 years to begin the mezcal making process. What does Joven mean? Just means unaged. This is the same thing that a Blanco tequila would be in that category. This one is 82 proof. The agave is cooked in lava-lined pits for 5 days. That's where you get a lot of that smokiness. So as it's roasting underground and it's completely covered, it traps in all of that smoke. Some are smokier than others. It just depends. Some's like a campfire. Some are like, backdraft and the house is burning down. Some aren't that bad. It all depends on your taste. Some people like it. The agave is crushed old school method by a Tohono stone. If you don't know what that is, it's a big round rock, looks like a wheel. Look it up. Fermentation is open air for 4 days. When you do an open air fermentation, it will suck up whatever's in the air. And there's some really cool things that mezcal brands are doing. Hanging botanicals, citrus. I've even heard of some hanging chicken. I don't know what kind of flavor profile they're going for chicken. Actually, I do, but it's really technical and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on this one, but you can look it up. Last thing, it's twice distilled and it's made from 100% Maguey Espadin. That's agave. The Criollo Joven is the second expression that we're going to be trying today. And this is the one that kind of blew me away because I didn't even know that they had more than this bad boy in their portfolio. Pleasant surprise, right? Criollo Agave is a wild grown agave that is native to the Guerrero region. They harvest that agave around 7 years. This is 100.4 proof, so it's a little stronger than its friend. And same thing, open air fermentation for 5 days, and it's twice distilled. My glasses are screaming, they're thirsty. It's like a seashell. They're saying, pour something in me. Anyway, grab your glasses, drink along with me, but let's see what we're trying today. Let's taste. Ooh, that was a tight seal. I love it when it's tight. We are going to do a pour. Look at the bottleneck just wants to come off. So we're going to take this off, but we're going to talk about it. So basically, it's just a little description about the brand, about this product in particular, which is, you know, a really good marketing mechanism. But we're going to put it right here because we don't really need it. Now, as I said, I've tried this one before, but I'm still going to explain and talk a little bit about it. Let's jump into the bottle. We really talked about the flag on the backside. It's very, very, very easy to hold. Doesn't take up much shelf space. And it's very simple. It gives everything, but I really love that design. I think it's super cool. Color. Now, these are my Mezcal shot glasses, and they actually hold a lot, but they're very symbolic. I was given these by, you know, somebody who is a Mezcal aficionado and said, sip Mezcal like this. I don't know. That was my best means of doing an accent. It was terrible, but you can smell this in the air. Now, color, it's a Joven, so it's clear, just like water. This is not water, though, I promise you, because you can smell it. Can you guys smell that at home? It is, I get the smoke, but it's not overly potent. It's not like, you know, a fire rescue movie whatsoever, but it is there. You can definitely, and you're going to pick it up on most mezcals. If you're not familiar with mezcal, you are going to get some smoke. And if you wanted to make like a smoky margarita or anything like that, or a Oaxacan old-fashioned, it really brings a depth of character to that cocktail that I actually really, really like. But yeah, I can smell the cooked agave. That's really rising up. There's that subtle smokiness. There's a little bit of citrus as well. Not much, but there is like a zest, something going on. Not a lot of alcohol vapors either, which is really good. I don't like a lot of alcohol vapors coming up and beating the shit out of my eyeballs. Salud. You like that? First sip, coats the palate. You're getting some of that cooked sweet agave. It's semi-dry, so it's very interesting because it has some dry citrus flavors to it. Has a little bit of pepper on the back end. Second one's always a charm. A little bit of pepper, cooked agave, little smoke, lemon zest, almost like the peel, a little bit of orange rind. Definitely a lot of different characters going on. True to form mezcal. This is not chilled. This is just completely neat. Although here in the Teeqlife Basement Bar, it's in the basement, so the temperature is around 66 degrees or something like that. So it's not overly warm. Third sip, yeah. Nice fruitiness. There's a little minerality. Some vegetal notes as well, and you get that from the agave, the soils that it's grown in. So you're going to pick up some of those things because it is grown and harvested, what around like 4 to 6 years, somewhere in between there. So you're going to get some of those notes for sure. But very, very nice sipping Mezcal. I can do this one if you wanted to tone it down just a tad. You can put an ice cube in it, but great for mixers. And I enjoy sipping this alone because it's not overly smoky. Round 2. Double pop on this episode. I like it. Let me take this off because you know what's going to happen. It's going to want to jump in the glass. Let's give this a pour. Well, let's look at the color contrast. And looking at it, it's still because these are Jovens. You're not going to get a color. These are not rested, these are not aged, so it's going to be the same thing. But this is made from a different type of agave. I haven't had this one before. Ooh. Definitely. Yeah, this is definitely a lot sweeter on the nose. Not much smoke, which is really... So this one was smokier than this. This is very clean. What's kind of crazy is I'm almost picking up rainwater. Now, I'm not 100% sure of what water they're using. Some distilleries actually do use rainwater, well water, fresh spring water, or they'll combine them. So there's a lot of nuances with the distilling process of what water that they use. But this is very interesting. It smells a little bit like Florida at your grandparents' house. That, you know, musty rain. Which is not all bad in a mezcal or a tequila. Not at all. This is very, very fruity forward. Cooked agave. Very tiny bit of light smoke. But super crisp and clean. Let's try the Criollo Joven. Boy, that's different. Very different. Much different. There's a lot more earthiness to this one. A little sweet, fruity, botanicals in a way. Very different than the Espadin Joven. Second, I'm not picking up a lot of smoke whatsoever. I'm picking more like dried berries. There's just a lot of fruit forward going on, so I'm wondering if they're hanging something in the air during the fermentation, because it will pick up a lot of that. There's also kind of like an apple on the back end. And we're in Michigan, so we do a lot of exporting of apples. And it's almost like a red delicious. There is spice on it. Now remember, this is 100 proof, so you're going to get some spice. This is definitely... Let me go in for one more. 3's the charm. So there's definitely a vegetal kind of essence to this. And what I mean is, like, you can actually almost taste the plant in this mezcal. Now, there have been some other spirits that I've tried before where you could really pick it up. Like a sugarcane juice rum is very different than a molasses-based rum. You can really get the freshness of the actual plant that they're using. And you can really pick this up in this Criollo Joven. So maybe it is the type of mezcal that or the type of agave that they're using for this mezcal. I don't know, but I can really pick it up. It's very different, but there's a lot of fruit forward going on, dried berries. You do pick up a sweetness from that agave. It does have some black pepper on it. So there's going to be a spice. There's going to put, you know, something that puts hair on your chest, because it's not a flamethrower. It's still kind of smooth for me, but I am a professional intoxicologist. But with that being said, you got to remember, you got to be careful, because with all those fruity flavors, everything that's going on as far as the depth of profile, still 100 proof. It's going to do some damage. Man, this Criollo, it just threw me for a loop. It's like sitting in a field and you're drinking mezcal, but it's so different. I've never had a mezcal that quite tasted like this. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't know if it's Teeqlife approved. I got to go in for one more. Nice fruity tones though. So I like it. I think I'm still a little bit partial to this Espadin, just because it does have a little bit more sweetness up forward. I think there's also a little bit of smokiness, which there's not too much in this one, so it's kind of throwing me off. But I can make some pretty killer cocktails with this one, but I still will sip it. There's no doubt about that. I had mentioned that there is 3 in the Pelotón de la Muerte portfolio, and yes, we do have it. Now, when I talked about them hanging things during the fermentation process, it's really killer. It's killer because they actually sent me some of the botanicals, the orange peels, the limes that they have hanging. How dope is that? And you can just smell, wow, there's just so many. It's so good. So this we're going to do on another episode, because with all of these aromas that are being absorbed by the mezcal during the fermentation process, I thought we just need to talk a little bit more about it. The other thing is they sent me an actual Criollo Agave, a couple of seeds, and a potter, and we're going to see if I can grow some agave by the time we do this tasting episode. So my glasses are down to the down, and that wraps up another episode of Something New here in the Teeqlife Basement Bar. Had to put on my Tequila and Spirits baseball hat, and if you didn't know, they are our digital media partner, and you can get a free digital publication subscription by visiting their website. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do a couple more pours, and we'll see you on the next episode. Salute!